I am with Andy of DMB Games, who does some of the best miniature dungeons I know of. And what separates you, I think, is that, yes, you're doing stuff with Hearst Arts, you're also being creative with your molds, and importantly, you're using my favourite material. You're working in resin.
We are indeed working in resin, yeah. Obviously, we originally started with plaster, but it just wasn't good enough in the end, so we went to resin, and I'm glad we did, so, yeah.
And no looking back on that, eh? So, this is actually, I haven't seen this mould before. Is this a Hearst Arts?
Wooden in-floor mould.
Okay, so this is a Bruce Hertz mould?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, it has three different, so you've got the diagonals, and you've got the straights, and there's the square ones that you can see in there as well. So you have the three different types of tiles that you can make up whatever with. So.
Oh, that's really nice. And so this is the fieldstone set,
that's
isn't
right,
it?
Yeah.
So
and then you've got the ruined fieldstone pieces on the top as well, to give it that kind of height and the impression that there's more above it rather than just the flat dungeon walls that we've always done. So it just gives it an impression that there's more up there.
Yeah, no, that really does have a lot more impact, I have to say, than a standard dungeon wall. So, I mean, this is beautiful pieces. Now, when you put these together, do you sort of do one wall as a mould and then...
Yeah, so my display boards are all stuck down because we have to carry them around, and trying to set everything all up at once is a bit of a mare. But everything we do is completely modular, and when we make them to make the sets. So we sit down and we look at what we want to do for a set, and then we figure out which pieces we need to do, and then we make the masters, make the molds, so we can cast the sets as one, so that we know what's going on. Otherwise it just gets very confusing and no one really knows what's happening. So yeah.
Alright, so and you provide your resin dungeons both painted and unpainted, yeah?
That's correct, yeah. So for the expo we put together 3 new display boards. So the dungeon, the cavern and the sci-fi. And that's actually how they come. If you were to come to the stand and buy one this weekend, if you said I want a cavern set and you buy it painted, that's what you would get. You get it looks like that. You get all those pieces, and it would all be completely modular. So it's made up of 4x4s, 2x2s, walls, and then the toppers and bits and pieces, the well. The sci-fi one is the only one that's slightly different. So these are actually single plate floors, whereas everything else we do are double plate floors.
What do you mean by single and double plate?
So I haven't actually got any tiles to show you, but so these I might be able to show you here. So I've mounted this. So this is just 1 tile thick.
Okay.
Whereas these sets are 2 tiles thick.
And what's the reasoning behind doing that?
Well, in the plaster, the single tile pieces were not strong enough. They just broke. So I just stuck 2 together. But also, the double tiles are the same thickness as 1 wall brick. So on the outside these walls are 3, and on the inside they're 2, because the tiles take up 1 line, which means that the walls are really stable. So we didn't need to connect the walls to the floors, which means you get a lot more modularity, and if you're really clumsy like I am, they don't get knocked over all the time. So that was actually the main reason. But with the sci-fi stuff, I wanted to be able to provide a bigger area to play on with the core set, because a lot of sci-fi games, because you've got the range as opposed to being close combat like a lot of fantasy stuff, I wanted to make sure that out of a core set you could actually play a game with it, as opposed to then having to go, well, I've got a core set and now I need to spend a lot more to actually be able to use it. So you actually get the same amount of squares per inch in all of the core sets, but because they're double tiles, you don't get as much surface area when these are single tiles. So, but it just seemed more appropriate for that set to have more floor tiles. So,
yeah, I mean, these are beautifully put together as well. Like in terms of the paint job, you're highlighting in multiple colours and stuff.
Yeah.
They're lovely paint jobs. So, I mean, how much would so this is what's a starter set here? If I was to get,
I knew you were going to ask me that question. And the inset, I haven't worked out the prices for yet, because I actually only finished that board 2 days ago. So it's due out at the end of the year, sort of September time. But we're going to do it in a core set, so you're going to get the tap room and up to 3 small rooms, So if you want, we'll be doing we're doing some stables and an office and a basement, and so you'll basically get to pick stuff to make your core set out of. But it will be a tap room that size and 3 small rooms, or rooms equivalent to those sizes for £150 the same. So that will form the core set, and then you'll be able to buy all the other bits separately. So.
And these core sets here, are they £100?
They're £150 painted, and that's what you get in them. So.
Okay, and if somebody wanted an unpainted set, what would they be paying?
Depending upon the set, but they range between £90 and £120 unpainted, depending upon which one of the sets it is. Because the sci-fi is a little bit more expensive because it's got a lot more parts to it, whereas the dungeon and the cavern don't. Although they all weigh the same, they don't have as many pieces because they're put together differently. I just wanted to get all of the core sets with walls and doors at the same price. So at entry level, everyone's paying the same for whatever set they're going to get. So
I want to take a closer look at these floors, because whatever you're doing here, and it doesn't look like it's that hard to paint this, but the effect is so beautiful. Would
you like me to let you in on my secret?
You're going to be revealing it to a few
It's
thousand
fine.
people.
It's absolutely fine. So I spray undercoat them. I paint them in a dark grey. I then do a dry brush for grey, and I actually use Army Painter Quick Shade to do the varnish and inking at once. And that's what gives it that effect, is the Army Painter Quick Shade. And because they do it in different colours, so that they've all actually been quick shaded. So I've used the dark tone on that, the soft tone on that, and the strong tone on that, and it just gives a different effect. But it does the shading and the varnishing at once, and I can't fault the Army Painter for their product. It's amazing. So
can we get the camera to have a look at this floor? I love this effect.
But it's the same on these floors as well. I've done exactly the same thing. So and the walls, it just enables me to speed up production. It's great. It's a great product. So.
Well, thank you very much. So that's been DMB Games, these beautiful, beautiful dungeons, and check them out. Where would somebody go if they want to buy one?
Yeah, we're at dmbgames.co.uk. So.
All right, thank you very much.
My name's Andy and I'm from DMB Games. If you could donate whatever you can to the Butterfly Project, it's a great cause and well worth your support. So please donate what you can. Thank you.